How many times a week should you train? Well, it's a question we get asked a lot here at Running With Us, and in truth the answer is very personal. It depends upon the event you're training for, obviously. It depends upon your lifestyle, it depends upon your family and working life situation, and your level of experience and injury history. So the most important thing to recognise is that the right pattern of training for you might be quite different to the right pattern of training for another runner aiming for similar goals. I have athletes I coach who will run upwards of 100 miles a week, and I have athletes who will be out running 3 or 4 times a week. And really the decision is based upon not necessarily what time you have to fit the training in, but actually a more performance orientated decision about how much training am I looking to get in that I think I can realistically recover from, and that's the critical decision. Your ability to recover from the frequency of your training is one of the most important factors in deciding how many times a week you run, what training plan you follow, and even what events you decide to train for. So if you're new to running, and perhaps you're training for a 5k or a 10k and you're just trying to build up your volume of running, I'd suggest starting with 2 to 3 runs a week, maybe building to 3 to 4 runs a week, and trying to develop a regular and consistent pattern of training. And one thing that we see quite a lot is athletes spiralling between having high volumes of training and a high frequency of training one week, following through to a week of low energy, perhaps even some niggles, and the frequency of training dropping right off the next week, and spiralling, if you like. The way that athletes, whether they're elites right down to people just starting out on their running journeys, get the most fit is from consistency of training. I would much rather you go out and run 3 to 4 times a week in a sustainable way than going out and running 5, 6, 7 times a week one week and then nothing the next week. Your body will respond better to layering on training week on week with a consistent pattern of lower frequency of training if that is what is right for you and that's what it takes for you to remain consistent. If you're running a marathon, obviously training volumes will go up during the course of that marathon training cycle. Your training volumes going up could be a case of upping the frequency of your runs. Certainly that is an option. And there is no harm provided your body is coping and recovering well with you upping your training volumes and frequency to perhaps 4, 5, even 6 runs a week. But it's also a case of deciding how long each session is going to be. So that would be the volume of your session, and in some of our other videos we'll talk about how to increase the volume of your sessions and also the intensity of those sessions. Frequency is all about looking at your week and looking at your commitments in that week and deciding what is a realistic and sustainable pattern of training for you as an individual. Trying to bite off more than you can chew will both put your body under a great deal of strain and potentially risk injury and certainly low energy levels, but it might also damage you mentally, because if you feel that you've targeted a training plan that has you out running 5 or 6 times a week, but actually you've been honest with yourself, looking at your diary, you can only fit in 3 or 4 runs a week, each week you're going to get to the end of that week feeling like you've failed to achieve something. If you're honest and you look at your week and think, actually realistically it's 3 or 4 runs a week here that I can do sustainably, then get out there and train to that pattern. You'll finish each week feeling like you've hit what you've asked your body to do, and you'll build confidence. If the issue is not so much available training time, but it's actually that you tend to find that that 4th, 5th, 6th run each week is the one that tips you over to feeling like energy levels are getting really low, or perhaps you start to pick up a niggle or an injury, look at cross-training as a good way that you can build the frequency of your training sessions each week without necessarily increasing a lot of the load on your muscles. And we've done articles and other videos to guide you through what your cross-training, that is training that is working your heart and lungs that isn't running based, and what that might look like each week and how to integrate that into your training. If you're a bit more experienced and you are looking to build up your frequency of your running, be careful in how you go about doing that. Build it slowly. We would say that you shouldn't be looking to up your running volumes massively more than probably 10 to 15% each week. Now that might mean if you're looking to increase your running frequency, that actually you might need to, for a short period, actually reduce some of the volume of some of those sessions in order to add in an extra run next week that you didn't have in this week. Then in turn you can start to build up the volume of each individual session as time goes by. If you suddenly increase your intensity of your training, increase the frequency of your training, and increase the volume of each training session week on week, don't be surprised if you get to the point that niggles start to come, your motivation dips and your energy levels start to fall. The key message here is make sure that the frequency of running you select each week is sustainable with your lifestyle and your family and social lives. Make sure that you've got the energy to run strongly in each session rather than hanging on and clinging on because you're trying to do one extra session that week because that's what Dave in the office was doing, or that's what a training plan you found on the internet told you to do. It's your running. None of us have exactly the same lifestyle, none of us have exactly the same ability to recover between sessions, and you need to think what is sustainable and consistent above every other training variable. So have a look at the article we've written. Good luck with your training, and we will look forward to supporting you with more tips in the future. Thanks.